What's up, YouTube? So, caught a killer short on my live stream on NFP Friday, and I thought, let's review the trade. So here we are at 9:30 open, which is around here. We're just watching the market. At first, I was thinking we could be bullish, but as we know, started just dropping strongly, strong displacements here. And we had taken out many PD arrays. Taken out, inverted this move up. We created a breaker block, which is a low before a high. And we had left this liquidity level of data lows, right? So that drew my attention. And as I always do, I do flip through different time frames. And I did find that the 2-minute provided a cleaner structure here to look at. You can see that we had one fair value gap here. Instead of on the 1 minute, there's two of them stacked, and this breaker is not as clean, right? So 2-minute is nice here. And I had marked out this fair value gap here. Essentially, I was a little bit more patient here as we had a large displacement down here, and I knew that we could have a large retracement within this area. And I was monitoring how these candles were going to respect the midpoint of this. So here is what we call unicorn, a breaker, and a fair value gap, align. So I was watching this here, and I noted this little bullish fair value gap. And if we had just started and inverted this, I would have looked for a trade, but I noted that wick. Noted here, right there, I noted that you could see exactly where I entered there. So we can rewind a little bit again. Right, so that wicked there, the midpoint, and then I was like, okay, I have to get in now, right? And I did, essentially, here at 865.50, and I was in little to no drawdown for the whole trade. You could check it out on the live stream, and I was looking for data lows, essentially. I had marked this out, put my stop pretty much at this little body, the top of the body of the candle that created the fair value gap. I totally could have made it a lower stop to this breaker, as you do have breaker and a fair value gap here. But for NFP Friday, I do think that sometimes it could wick. So I had that stop, and I targeted this data low. Let's be a little bit, yeah, like that. It's more like this, yeah. So let's continue here. I then was watching for this to get inverted as well. You can go to the 1 minute here because I was monitoring this on the 1 at that point, I believe. Right? So immediately started going in my favor. Create an inversion here so we can look at that, right? And I do believe some people who prefer that type of method, they did enter here on the retest, or they just entered there. I'm not too, you could do either or. So this was an area where I could have pyramided and added to my position, but I didn't because I was comfortable with my risk enough. And I said I wanted this to get hit by 10 because it's just the way the 15-minute candle closes, and NFP should have large ranges. So you can see here, took my partial there, and then full profit target right here. And that's basically it. Then you can see here we did end up still respecting this fair value gap and going lower for the rest of the day. But that's essentially it. I do think that NFP provides really good opportunities if you know the right draw on liquidity, and you do keep in mind that you will have larger stops because of the larger ranges involved, and just keep your risk managed. Oh, another thing I wanted to add was if it's a unicorn entry, you do want it to react quickly and start displacing away from that area, which we did. And I could have moved and then I did move my stop up to this high here. We shouldn't have returned there, especially after breaking more PD arrays and creating an intermediate term high here. So that's the trade review on how I made $975 in about 10 minutes on NQ per account. And I hope that I provided some value. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you. I do live stream 9:15 a.m. Eastern on my channel, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you know when I go live.